we've just wrapped 13, 12 weeks of filming. So anyway, let me go round the houses first. I am sat to my right. We have Ally, co-director, writer.
In General Dog's Body.
In General Dog's Body, yes. Opposite us, we have Ronnie, who was our director of photography. Is that a DP something?
Yep. DOP.
And beside him, we have our sound guy, who's a sound guy, Josh.
Sound this guy about.
Oh, Josh, by the way, let me just tell you. Josh, get on me. It's my turn. Get off, Josh. Josh is only 18. I'm right?
Yeah.
Yes, Josh is 18. He's joined this crew from West Lothian College, so thank you, West Lothian College, for the use of the sound guy. And are you doing a media course at West Lothian College, Josh?
Yeah, I'm doing NQ Creative Industries, so I'm almost finishing that up in I think 9 weeks, maybe, as it finishes.
Right. And does this fall into what you were doing with us with Zero ID for the Bitter Pill movie? Does it fit into your course? Is it stuff you were doing on your course?
I'm mainly doing photography there, but this is where I wanted to end up in film and industry like that.
Right. Okay. And as an 18-year-old young man, how's it been hanging about with us old farts and all the crazy West Lothian people? And
I prefer older people over people my own age, so it's just been fine.
You certainly do.
Very welcomed.
Listen, for me, brilliant. The sound guy's always a sound guy, and you've been pretty sound, to be honest. I don't know what Ronnie thinks. He's sitting smiling beside you.
Definitely agree.
And Ally, anything you want to add to this, because you are the co-director here, so don't let me steal all the limelight.
I just think it's a great opportunity for anybody that's going to work within creative industries, is to have hands-on experience actually doing a job in creative industries. And there's no better people than older people who have a lot more experience than a young guy to say, do it this way, do it that way, because that's how you learn. You're gaining knowledge, and that's the whole point of Zero ID as well, is to take people and give them an opportunity to do something that they might never do. So I'm glad you've got a really good experience out of it, Josh. That was the whole point of it, and that'll lead on to more work with us and more work with outside of here, because the proof's in the pudding. Yeah. Once we edit it all together, they'll see how good it actually is.
Experience is everything, isn't it?
Experience is everything. And do you know what? 20, 30 films underneath your belt, you'll be like, remember doing it with the old guys. They were like, fantastic. Nah, I'm all joking, isn't it? But I'm glad you've had a good experience, because there's no negative experience here for anybody who's been in this production. And I think that's shown through all the way through.
Yeah. And Ronnie, of course, our director of photography. I can't talk tonight. I'm knackered. It's been a long. Our DOP, yes, the DOP, Ronnie. So camera's on you now, Ronnie. Ronnie, you had the job of taking what these two crazy loonies here came up with, and you've I always say it, you had the hardest job, because you've got to create what us Muppets come up with, put it through the camera, and then make it believable to the audience. So by no means an easy feat of any kind. But anyway, Ronnie, what's your take on all this, pal?
It's been good. You're right. Like, you get a story and an overview of what's happening, and you try not to visualise too much straight away, and you try and make it organic. As you go, or at least that's what I've tried to do. But yeah, it's always going to be a challenge to make sense of someone else's vision, because you'll see something different compared to what the story writer sees it like. But it's been good. There's lots of nice stuff, lots of nice shots in there. We've worked well as a team. We've kept each other right, which is really good. We've got a sound guy who's working with us.
I wish I could find that T-shirt.
I'm a sound guy.
We can actually make them.
We could. We
should.
Definitely should have one. I'm the director of photography guy. I'm a sound guy.
Soundest guy about.
Soundest guy.
But yeah, definitely. I think what you're saying is working as a team as directors. You look to your director of photography to create the visuals, and that's you're trying to create what's in myself and James's head. That's not an easy thing, because we have I think Ryan Cruz said it really well. You have a vision of what your film looks like, but when you actually film it, it doesn't look anything like that. Well, I would beg to differ, because everything that you provided was what I seen in my head, and that's testament to your professionalism. So
That's good.
and that means a lot to a production company, to have that trust in each other. And I think I said it to you right away at the start. We have to allow each other that room to say, no, that's shite, and we don't want to use that. Or I think at one point we've decided to do extra scenes to give it more credence, to give it a push forward. And you have to have that. You have to have that ability to be flexible, because that then validates what you're doing.
I've just thought of something, actually.
Yeah.
Your fucking shoulder got in. He was a
Yeah.
receptionist. Where did you get in it?
No,
And I never got in it
I
either.
might be in a reflection somewhere.
There'll be a
Somebody's going to be
reflection
looking for
somewhere.
that reflection, definitely.
I hope not.
The shoulder being in it was no choice. That could have been you or me. I really like I like the fact that we've done it as a team. I think the cast has been amazing. We've had all the way from people being really consistent all the way through it, to people like Keith, who have come in at the last minute with no choice, who didn't even know. I can remember 2 minutes before he's seen teaching him his lines. So, but this is what the whole sort of catharsis of this project is to bring people out of their shell. It's not about creating. It's to give them an idea that there's more out there to just what life's thrown at them.
And we'll get her out if we didn't fucking say the 4 C's.
Yeah,
The community,
yeah.
the communication. Something I'm struggling with the fucking day, like, as I've been working since 6. The comfortability and the confidentiality. I mean, bringing that into the group, everybody seemed to grab it and run with that as well, which is quite good. There was a wee blip at the beginning, but
There's
we've
always
ironed
blips.
that out.
Listen,
There's always
you've got a
it's
group of
community people.
yeah.
Aye, nobody's being paid.
Yeah.
Not one person is getting a penny out of this.
No.
You know, it's a community project throughout, and I want to say it personally. I would want to say thank you to every single person that took part in this. Not just us guys doing what we were doing, because everybody's worked for free, everybody's offered their time for free, their houses for free. You know, gave up their house. We nearly, Christ almighty, we were camped in his for about a week. Well done, mate, and thank you very much. And yes, we'll clean the carpets. I promise you we would do that.
Yeah,
It's amazing how that team of community people have all just gelled and just offered up so much for nothing. It was just phenomenal.
and I think that shines through with the performances. We certainly I don't like to say main character, but there is main characters in it, and people have excelled, and that's what we need. That kind of quality doesn't come from just throwing people into a room reading lines. They're understanding the story as it's going through. And I think you said it does. How do you put all this together? Well, it's already there in my head, so that's the easy part. But it might be that a scene doesn't fit with one scene when we're editing, so we have to sling things about a wee bit. But that's the whole part of filmmaking. And if you're passionate about filmmaking from a crew's perspective, put the right people in the right places, and you gel together, you create something that's quite really unique. I think I always look at how Shane Meadows, Guy Ritchie, all these great directors, how they put stuff together, and it's all about telling a story, but you're telling everybody's story that's there. So I think it's really important you have to have that trust and flexibility in each other, and we have as a team. We know everybody. I think now after 12 weeks we know what we're doing. Well, I'd like to think we know. We've got a general grasp of the story. We've got a general grasp of how we do scenes and how we then deliver them. And that's once you've got over that as a production company, that's the golden area. Sorry, I'm going to cough. Cough. That's what the doctor said to me. But it's really important that we keep that community spirit within it, because now some are going to to the other place. And I'm not
Aye,
going to
there's-
advertise another place, but
it's fine.
they'll probably disappear for like up to 15 weeks,
Yeah.
16 weeks. So that gives us room to edit. It gives us room to write the second part.
Mhm.
And we'll show people how to edit, but it won't be at this point. It can't be a teaching exercise. It
Yeah.
has to be, let's get it all done. And
But
then,
the other
you know
guys
what I
are
mean?
doing that as part of their course anyway. So,
Yeah.
if you want to learn how to edit, there's people being paid to
Yeah.
deliver that. So go learn to be fucking editors, man. It's
Yeah.
I do very little editing with this podcast thing anyway, and it's took me years to. Well, that's what 2.5 years that I've been doing this, and it's like you're constantly learning, and I'm only just learning how to put names and captions on the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm not an editor. I've never done anything like that in my life, but it's aye.
I think
Time,
you just
Time,
have to look
organic
at-
growth.
yeah.
Ronnie mentioned that earlier, and
Yeah.
organic growth is fucking key
I
to
like that.
everything.
I think that the
Yeah.
thing is about the way I like to work, and I think it's true of most people anyway, that we all like to be students, like
Uh-huh.
perpetual students
Yeah.
in some way. So we're always learning something,
Yeah.
and I think that's quite important. Like even as old guys, Josh, we're still learning something as we go, you know.
Yeah.
And like there's no doubt that you'll bring something to us and we'll
Aye.
learn from that.
Well, I think that you can always learn something.
Aye,
Yeah.
don't be shy. Pitch in if you want to say something. You
Yeah.
jump in here. Don't let us blare because
First time, I'm just thinking, I'm more of a listener.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's the
Yeah,
sound
yeah,
guy
more-
for
that's
you.
the
sound guy
That's
for
the
you,
sound
yeah, you
guy.
know what I
for
mean?
couldn't be more
Yeah.
perfect.
Aye.
But no, it's
What, Ronnie? What's your take on? In fact, no. What's your take? Why did you get involved in this? Know that Ali browbeated you into it, or tied you down, or thumb screws, or anything like that. What was behind you taking part in this?
What am I looking to get out of it overall?
Nah, not even just.
Well, I think there is.
Aye,
I
yeah.
mean, there needs to be
Everything then,
something.
aye,
We've
everything.
all
Yeah.
got something that we need to get out of it, and whether that be in helping people or we've got an altruistic nature or whatever
Mhm.
it is. For me, it was like I have dabbled with film
Uh-huh.
and making short films before, but nothing on this sort of scale.
Right.
So yeah, it was about getting more experience, working with the team, working with the directors and actors. Because, like, I don't know how to direct someone. I know I've got a history in photography, and a
Yeah.
lot of that is about bringing out the natural expressions and character of the person. It's not necessarily making them somebody else. Whereas that's where you guys step in. You're kind of, although to a certain extent you're bringing out something that's in name,
Yeah.
you're making them somebody else. So it was interesting to me, you know, to actually do it.
Yeah.
And I know I've learned a lot from this. I know that there's other guys here that have learned a lot from this as well, and I think that's a really positive thing.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I had something to get out of it. Absolutely, and
Yeah.
I think you've always got to have
yeah,
something intrinsic to
definitely.
yourself that you're
Yeah.
taking from it.
Mhm.
I think my experience is that I wanted to not just direct but actually write it and be part of that writing process to say, I've worked with directors who are like straight down the line who will not do anything but what's written on that script, and that's not the way to make a film.
Yeah.
To get the best out of your actors, and I've always said to you, Ronnie, that you're in charge of the visuals and me and James are in charge of the actors, and we need to then project onto them what we need them to do, because anybody can read a line. Anybody can read a line in a script, but to deliver a line, and that to me is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that story that I created off of James's scene and say, yes, that works. Or yes, that person who's watched it after we've done all what we've done to it actually understands the story. And that's really important, that all the way through this process we've always talked about the viewer has to understand the story.
Yeah.
It can't be left. There should be no second guessing in this type of story. It's a gritty drama. You go and watch any gritty dramas, there's no hidden agendas in it. It's straight down the line. We're talking about life in general in West Lothian. And yes, we're talking about people's on the outskirts of society. We're talking about people with mental problems.
Yep.
We're talking about people with drug problems. We're talking about gangsters. And these are all
It's
real
reality.
reality. That's what happens. And yes, murders do happen, and sexual assaults do happen, and the stigma that surrounds all that is what we are discussing. That's what I always talk about, breaking stigmas.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of what I wrote and it was actual life experiences. A couple of characters are actual people from my life. So seeing that like being replayed in front of me, the fictitious character that I created was Lizzie Bryce, but that was on, that a couple of experiences in my life. It was dead easy to write Lizzie's because it was kind of like two people, and Lizzie Bryce had a split. So it was kind of like there was two people that I wrote and as one, bizarrely, but still we managed to put two people into it.
Yeah.
And then like that scene, The Awakening, that we did that brought us here, because everybody, we went to do reels, and I had that Awakening thing that I gave to the other guys to have a look at, and never ever got back to me on it. And when I did that as a reel with Kelly and I actually wrote that during the other workshop with Kelly in mind. It was really bizarre.
Yeah.
I was saying that to her outside there as we wrapped. Kelly, it's quite surreal that we've finished now, because when I wrote that, and I was sat to 3 a.m. writing it, she was in my head the whole time. Her character, looks,
totally.
the blonde lassie, the everything, like, because everybody, that old school sort of way, the blonde and everything like that. Sorry, I'm off on a wee tangent there, but seeing these characters come to life from my past was quite
almost like deja vu.
It was like emotional, man. It was like, and there was certain things like with Neely, who played a pivotal character in my life, a huge character in my past, my young life. I'm talking about from like 14 to about 20. His character nearly just fucking nailed it. You know what I mean? He was like the Tony Montana, the hard cunt, but no hard cunt. He was like a cardboard gangster, but no, actually, he was quite a real fucking gangster. It was just so surreal watching Neely, and then just asking that simple thing when Neil was really trying to act it. And what I'm getting out of all this, and where I'm going with this wee bit, is what I got for this was I wrote something, Ally wrote something, we merged them together, we made something, and it fucking works. It really fucking works. And seeing these characters and just saying to them, like that thing, I had a moment where this all came to life for me. It was like, it was another thing. It was just another project. It was another thing to do. But the day it came to life and actually smacked me in the puss was the day I sat in a room, we were on the room, Neely's acting away, doing his thing, and I said, stop, fucking cut. We cut something, and something twigged in me. And it was like, Neil, go and just pretend you're in your own fucking kitchen doing your own thing. And boom. It just turned into something. And it was from that point.
What I was just going to say was,
Aye.
we didn't over-rehearse it.
Yeah.
And that's really important. So if you any future filming projects you do not need 3 months to rehearse it.
Fuck no.
If you do that, by the time you get to filming, you've lost the energy.
Yeah.
So the fact that in week 4 we were out filming was just amazing.
Aye.
The
buzz alley that
to
was
turn
there.
it around.
Aye.
And you can see how, another word that you used, organic, the script was.
Mm-hmm.
So if an actor comes to me and says, I would say it this way, well, just go and say it that way. Because do you know what? That'll get the most natural reaction. And it is...
I think we weren't even out the classroom when we were saying that to folk alley. We were like, go and just... Because they were like, I wouldn't say it. Well, fucking say it how you would say it. You know what I mean? Didn't we've wrote it that way, but just fucking say it how you would say it, you know?
That's what I always say with scripts. They're organic. They change. They're not going to be the same, but it's the essence of the scene and delivering the scene. And what you were saying about real stories is really important, because a lot of the main events in this film are all real stories. And I'm not saying I invented that. By no ways. This is, you go back in film and you can look at all really good films, and this is where it all comes with. And Shane Meadows and Paddy Considine really nailed it with Dead Man's Shoes. And I took inspiration that weekend that I wrote the other scenes, was take real stories and fit them in. And that's what they done with Dead Man's Shoes. They took about half a dozen stories from their scheme that they lived in. They picked a really small town to film it in. Do you know that Dead Man's Shoes was shot in 3 weeks?
Wow.
3 weeks, right? And that was shot, the whole film was shot in 3 weeks. His budget was something like 15 grand.
Well,
I had no budget. The car that's used, the V2CV, was Sean Meadows' car. Do you know what? And if you look at that's probably the most pivotal film in British independent cinema. And anybody could argue with me that it's a fantastic film. So when I took James's scene and I thought, right, how do I expand this? And I thought, pivotal, use different stories and put them in. And most of the pivotal points in this film are all true stories.
yeah.
And I can take you back to them, but they maybe not played out the same way, but the essence of the story. And then when we got to, I think maybe 2/3 of the way through this film, I thought to myself, do you know what, that's an hour and a half. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of these eureka moments. I was sitting, I don't know what I was doing, I was in my bog having a shit or something, I don't know. And I sat there and I thought, there's a fucking story in there, like, there's a story just to explode out the way and go like full throttle in part 2 and then bring a really positive ending in part 3 and actually show that being in a scheme is not about fucking despair and dying. It's like we need to me, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but it needs a positive ending, especially for the Lizzie Bryce character. And I think there needs to be that way out of the life to show that you don't necessarily have to be stuck in that life all your life. It's you that makes the change. So.
This is only part 1.
And this is only part 1, so part 2 has got to be full throttle. It's a bit like The Empire Strikes Back. It's always going to be the best film, you know what I mean? So, then we join all 3 of them together and we have a feature film. And do you know what? If we can do that with minimal budget, I know we've got fuck all now. We've got nothing to now.
Well, that's the fucking thing. It's zero ID, no budget.
Nay bother.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't get any more
and
Scottish.
And I can remember we sat and talked about that having lunch one day, and he was like, "We've no budget," and I was like, "It's no bother." And he's like, "Fucking tagline, right away."
Yeah.
So
because it was going to be just mind, it was just going to be ID, and then we were like, "Nah, fucking zero ID and no budget, no bother."
Yeah. So, and to me, that's the whole importance is that we build something that's just on our skill, not on financial reward or financial gain. And it's not about being there. It's being there for the group, but it's also at the same time we're creating a professional production company that makes a difference, and not just in West Lothian. I intend to make sure that it makes a difference for lots of people in Scotland, because we just snowball into the next production, and if we get funding, we'll fund equipment, we'll fund locations, we'll fund what we need to fund, lights, lights, drones, all the things. And then there's a great example, Aaron.
I fucking want a drone. See if he did these scenes, I'm like, now I want a fucking drone.
I'm going to take you next week.
I want a fucking drone.
If I can get
Claire's like, you can't fucking get a drone, we need a bathroom. And I'm like, I want a fucking drone
first, bathroom, you can shout in the garden, you know what I mean? You can't fly a drone.
Oh, what was his name? Aaron. Cheers, Aaron. Now I fucking want a drone.
Well, Aaron just advertised in the Scottish filming industry page on Facebook saying, "Look, I'm here. I'm going to be a student. I want to get some drone experience." And I thought, you know what? I could have done all these scenes with my drone. But I thought there's an opportunity to bring a young guy in who's want to really learn. And what a fantastic lad. He just walked in, him and his friend Adam that came along just became part of the group, and now he is part of the group. And it's like, when we film in the next one, it's like, give me a chance to write it. That's the kind of enthusiasm we're dealing with from cast, and specialised crew like drone operators are hard to come by.
I think it's an interesting point. I'm the sort of person who likes to be a kind of jack of all trades. I try and do a bit of everything, but sometimes you just need that guy who's a specialist to come in, you know, and they can do a better job than you're going to be able to do, you know. So
I could have probably done those shots, but at the same time as trying to control actors and trying to control mad shopkeepers who wanted money and all the things that you have to do, you have to have that. If somebody's got a profession, a specialised area like sound, because Josh has done a really good job with the sound, we have to then nurture that, but we also have to give them the opportunity to get that credit. That's what credits are for. You're recognising the professionalism that they've done as they all drink water, and I'm dying on a drink. So, but
and get it done,
totally. Total respect to Aaron, and he's going to come back and he's going to help us with other projects as well. So that's really good. And that young guy came all the way through from Paisley every night. And
I was going to say, where's he from?
Paisley.
Paisley, right?
Full of enthusiasm all the way through here to just stand about and wait to do 10 seconds of drone work. And I love that. And the
It's the community reach, fucking
it's
reaching even further, you know
it's
what I mean?
that community feeling. And he said to me, he says, wow, what a bunch of people. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, well, it's true. You want to work in the filming community. We need projects like this.
Yeah.
We can't, you won't get picked up by Big Blue Shed. You won't get picked up by Tartan Bridge. These are all big film companies now in Scotland. Yeah, let them go and do their Netflix crap that they pump out, like Damaged and things like that. We'll do the gritty stuff which the people want to watch, and that's what's important, is actually telling social stories rather than telling big budget films, because we'll not be involved with it unless you.
I hope they fucking want to watch. I hope.
Well, do you know what? I've had a lot of interest, James, and a lot of people want to come along and see it. So that in itself, and if we can hopefully get where we want it to be as a premiere, we want it to be free. We want people to come and see it off their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, off their own backs. And yeah, it'd be nice to, even if we done it as a fundraiser and have a donation bucket or something. You know, it's more about, to me, I'm thinking of the head and how we finance stuff in the future. Because I don't want people spending money on stuff. I mean, we all shelled out in props and things like that. But again, we'll gather that all up as we go. And to have a production company start from nothing is amazing. Yeah. So even just that, getting that off the ground and doing 12 weeks filming with no money, with no cash, just smiling and loads of favours.
Look how far it got us.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that, Paul?
Look how far it got us. No budget and we're here.
Yeah, exactly. So be very proud of what you have done. That's what I'm going to say.
I've got an interesting take on this as well. Like, I spent a long time as a creative working on my own, and I was like, my voice is the thing I want to be producing, and I want that to be the thing I'm getting out there, or my works of art or my photography, whatever it is. I wanted that to be the thing that was out there. And if folks said anything, I was like, I don't care. Yeah. But the interesting thing is that what I was missing, it takes me a kind of more mature mind for me anyway, to then say I missed that kind of that network. Yeah. You know, that network of people, other creative minds, like people that are like-minded, working on something together, and it's like there's nothing like it.
It's that creative buzz, isn't it? It's like you have that anticipation that I always think things go wrong. I think that's the best way to be, because when things didn't go wrong, it's like, yes, it's a bonus. But you're right, it's working with like-minded individuals, and you tend to get an enthusiasm for the next part, and that's the enthusiasm that comes with the cast and the crew wanting to do the next part and the next part, and what are we filming, and that's what creates that buzz, because you're all working towards a goal.
It's interesting. Like, I think for me, you need things to go wrong. In a safe way, in a way. No, you don't want like folk to get hurt or anything, but you need mistakes to happen to be able to go, oh, I don't like that, or to then go, actually, I do like this. Let's see where this goes. You know what I mean? And that's kind of part of the organic process as well.
And I think you have that when you're as you're working as a team. Yeah. What somebody's perception, another perceives something else. Absolutely. And you can actually turn to that and say, yeah, actually fucking Ronnie's a bit right with that. Do you know what I mean? Or like, maybe I'm being too single-minded about this, and try it, or just try it. You'll always hear me, I don't know, you probably heard the last 13 weeks go, I just run with it. Just go with it.
Sure. And that's a good thing as well, Ronnie, like what you're saying there, because when you do work alone, or you create alone, to then get yourself, it's like networking. So you get involved with a community project, you network. It was like me and work alone, or do the skating, things like that. So I needed somebody to do that thing that I did with Neil on my FAQs. And what a better guy. I couldn't have got a better guy to do that way. And I would never have found Neil if I hadn't got involved in a community project. So like what you're saying, to add arms and legs to what you do as a creator, it makes sense for you to get involved with a community project of all sorts, aye.
Yeah, and I think you learn more from other creatives. Yeah, I'm always a big person for taking stuff on board. I'm never a person that said, nah, I do it this way and that's the only way you do it. If somebody comes to me with, like, how would you think shooting it that way, or doing this, or adding this to the story, you have to look at the validity of what people's telling you, and understand that you can then push that through. And
sometimes there's even just a wee, have you thought about, and you go, No, I've no.
Yeah.
Actually,
No,
I
I
like
actually
that.
thought I like that
Yeah.
idea, yeah. But
That-
I think that takes that means you're truly a creative. If I've met some people who are so self-obsessed with their photography and that they think they're nothing, they're the best thing since sliced bread, and you can't tell them anything that would change that matter. And I've met a lot of photographers like that, and I'm not going to name any, but when you work as a team in photography and video and filmmaking, you have to gel. You have to gel. If you don't gel, it's not a good experience. I've been on film sets where people are arguing, fucking throwing things at each other, directors losing the rag and smashing cameras up.
I think there's a few of them wanted to fling stuff at us.
No, well, you do get that, but at the same time, you're pushing emotions, and I think the weekend that we shot a lot of really heavy emotional scenes, even although we were having a laugh and we are actually shooting a rape scene, we are actually shooting a murder, we are actually shooting, and we don't necessarily know everybody's past that's in the room, and that's what I'm going to say. So anybody who may be affected by that kind of trauma in their past might bring up stuff that we don't realise that's happening.
Yeah.
So to me, it was really important that, and I think if you ask Kelly when we were shooting in the bedroom and things like that, you have to be very attuned to what you have to ask them, are you okay with this? Because we don't know what's happened in anybody's past that might trigger stuff. So again, you're dealing very stigmatised subjects, and that's what you've got to be aware of when you're doing that. But in general, we had a great laugh doing it. You just look back on some of the bloopers will tell you it all.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm
Can't
going
wait
to say.
to see these. But I mean, some of these guys, I mean, the community, the comfortability thing, the communication, I mean, the amount of people that have opened up about their past because they knew that some of this was from my past, and then they open up about theirs and they've talked, and it has grown them as characters, and they've brought trauma and used that trauma that they've had in their past into the character that we've created, you know, and they've used that fucking
It's
bent
just
up
a vehicle, ain't it?
and they've used that to push it forward, which has been superb, absolutely superb. And my hat's off to every single one of them. They've been amazing, absolutely amazing.
And I think we've got a certain amount of cast who are strong.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So you look at like Kelly, what a lead.
Aye.
She's so easy. As a director, she's a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, go and learn your lines. Learns her lines. Comes back and interprets them, delivers them.
Yep.
But then on the other hand, you've got people who you have to push. But then look at Neil. Neil just pushed it. He's one of the strong characters in the cast, but he's showing sides of him that he's never shown before to anybody else.
I told Neil, I'm fucking annoyed with you, Neil. I'm frustrated with you, Neil. Do you know why I'm annoyed and frustrated with Neil? Because he's so fucking good, and he does not know it. He does not pat himself on the back. He does not accept it, and it pisses me off because I'm like, what are you doing sitting fucking, you know, he's a talented little guy. I see it. I mean, maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm just warm to him, I don't know.
No, I agree with you.
See this
I think
guy.
it's a confidence thing. And once he starts acting, it's the confidence is there, and it's just getting that point of confidence up to be able to deliver.
Yeah.
I think the scene in front of the garages will just light that up. That was it. The intention was just I'm wanting pure aggression for the 2 years. I want you to actually, this is a fucking argument, so you're going to have to make it look like an argument.
And it's funny, they all want to direct it.
yeah, they all want to direct until they actually have to fucking do it. That's another thing. So, but but that's
the point
good.
of Neil, I think it's quite interesting that as someone who can be quite critical of themselves, he's got a way he can go with that, and it's only up. You know what I mean? He can go, you know what, I wasn't happy with that, but next time I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is the risk of people who are over-critical of themselves, of going inwards and going inside their shell, and I hope that doesn't happen to you because he is so good. I hope he realises that if he thinks that's not good enough, let's take it a step further. Let's go, let's
don't
go
go the other way, go the right
absolutely.
way. You know what I mean?
Because he's so good.
I think the scene with that bastard, we all were surprised.
Yeah.
In that room that night, how good he was, and he didn't even realise how good he was. So that's a sign of a really good actor who always critical.
He walked out the door and he come back. Was that all right? Aye, like fucking all us sitting with our chins on the flare. Was that all right?
And that's what you want to see. And I know that I can go all the way back to the Murrayfield ice rink.
Yeah,
there's some that seems so far away now.
It does, aye.
But then you've got
Okay.
some really sterling performances by Alan, by Mark,
Mark.
and that was their big scenes in it. And then I felt sorry the other day when Alan had to come out all the way just to kick a bag.
Aye.
But he did say to me, he was like, no, that's fine. And I really wanted to say to him, I was like, look, I want this to carry on because I want the Honey Monsters and Swanee to have a middle section in there, and
yeah,
there's a
definitely.
reason for that, and we'll
we've
see
not
that.
even
in
touched
it.
that
We've not
in
even
this room.
touched that yet, but that's a relationship that I think will electrify it.
Aye.
And there's a good storyline that we've built there in the first part to go into the second part, and I've not really thought anything past that. I've got
I think Mark's wanting to write a wee bit, and I know I've certainly been encouraging him to like just fucking do it. And he's like me, you know. It's like, oh, I have trouble with spelling, and I know
do you
he'll
know
not
what?
mind that I'm saying that because I
Yeah.
have trouble with. I can't fucking spell to save myself. But if you just fucking write it, you can worry about the fucking spelling later. And hopefully he is starting to just write stuff and write it and write it and write
Well, what I
it
said
because
to him
he's
was
another
record
talented
it.
little fucker.
Yeah. What I said to him was audio recorder. Get an
Well,
audio
there's that,
recorder.
aye.
Right, tell us your ideas,
Yeah.
and then we'll fit it into this. We'll try and fit. See,
I
the
mean, you
thing
can
is,
dictate.
you manage expectations. That's the
Aye.
thing. But what you do is you do the way when somebody suggests something to me, I'll look at the merits of it. Does it add to the story? Does it take the story in a direction that we are talking about, or does it? Is it then is it levelled to go to the next part of the story? And that's it's great for everybody to have ideas, but they have to fit into the plot, the narrative, the theme. That's really important. So, and that's where the first part has worked really well because we've stayed within the narrative. We've no moved outside the plot. We've added to it, and that's what you really have to do. The story will tell itself as long as you have all those elements, and that's really important. That the actors can express that I've got a really good idea.
Yeah.
So if I went to say I was working with James Mcinnes, who's a big, huge Scottish director, I've got an idea. James Mcinnes would go, fuck off back. Go and sit over there. I don't want to talk to you. But you can't be like that in a community. You want to say, right, bring it in. Let's see. Let's see how we... And we might not actually create that scene, but we could create something around that idea. And that's really important. That's what the whole next part of that writing part will be, is... looking at the story arcs and how we push the story on properly to get to the third part, which is hopefully the next part.
I think that's something that we've certainly tried to encourage from everybody to like bring forward the ideas. It doesn't mean we're going to use everybody's idea because we can't always fit with that, and it's not necessarily going to be a good part of that story. It might fit somewhere else, another story. It doesn't mean that we're trying to discourage them, but try and bring forward the things that are going to work. You know, and say, like, try this, try that, you know.
And if you don't tell us, how do we know?
How do we know?
Because everybody can go about with ideas in their head, but if you don't actually come and tell us or write it down.
Josh, the silent assassin there, could have a fucking whole book in his head, aye.
Can't even put a word in when everyone's talking. So
You
No,
got
and you
go ahead, write it down, pal.
well, I think it's great that you're encouraging everybody, and that I think if anyone has an idea, they should like put that out there and note it down. Just put it somewhere. I don't think they should ever just like put that to the side.
What's your idea then?
I've not got any ideas yet, but I'll be thinking.
No, but that's the thing. Bring it to the table. You can only. The thing is, you don't sideline to anything. You just say, yeah, that doesn't really fit, but that might 2 scenes down the road might shit that'll work in there. And do you know what? That's the I think the organic part of the writing is to be able to say that and have faith in your actors to come back and say, no, I think we should go that direction. Sometimes, and I've done it in this first part because, and I'll openly say, because me and Mark have spoke about it, he didn't like the scene. We filmed the scene, and I think it's one of the best ones in the film. But
What one's that?
the one at the garages, he didn't want to do it because he felt it brought his character down. And I was like, no, what you're not understanding is this is you have to have this scene to understand why the other scenes are working, and that's what pulled them together is that loggerheads. And sometimes it's not about the actor's ego, it's about learning the story. And I said to Mark, if you're writing stuff down, outline your scene first. So don't write the dialogue. The dialogue is the last thing you write. Write in the scene. What is the actions in the scene? Where does action move to? Where is it going? What is the thread that is going in?
Where's it starting? Where's it
Where's your
ending?
start? Yep. And that's every story has a start and an end.
Well, it's not about the actor, it's about the character.
Exactly. I love this sound guy. Where has this sound guy been for 12 weeks? All I've ever said to you was sound on.
I think Ginty was good at that. It's not all about you. It's not about you,
but
Ali.
that
It's not
keeps
about you.
people, but that's just keeping everybody levelled. It's
Aye.
like, do you know what? I think everybody grows up, you watch films, you want to be an actor, and once you've actually done it and acted, and that's the people who want to be actors will go on and be actors.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's never been a thing. I love acting, but directing is so much better because you're getting to visualise something that you put together. And that, do you know what? I seen it in your face after we shot The Awakening. It's like, wow, that just came to life. And do you know what I mean?
I think what we're doing, it really is giving us a chance to step forward.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of evidence that I see, even at college, of people saying they want to do something or be something, but never put the work in.
Yeah.
So it's like Arnie, right? Say if Arnie says, right, I'm going to be like this bodybuilding champion, but I'm not going to go to the gym.
I'm not going to the gym.
So how
so
does
it's
that
like
work?
the same idea. So I see evidence of that, and but Josh, you've stepped up. You know what I mean? You've stepped up and says, you know what, I want to do this.
Well,
Yeah.
you know? What I want to
It's
do.
like me, I want to do a podcast. I'm a couple of years in. I'm making fuck all. I'm no bothered if I never make anything
you're
for it.
having fun doing
It's
it.
because I love it, I enjoy it, so I'll do it. And I was listening to Joe Rogan. What will he tell you? He was about 6 years before he made any money out of a podcast.
Yeah.
And it was a fluke because he did this for fun.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Well, he took his audience with him as
Aye.
well. That's the
Aye,
thing.
he's
He
a
had
comedian, aye,
he had
so-
a built audience,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
as well. But I think Josh is right. I think you need, and Ronnie totally nailed it there. You need to put the effort in. So if you're going to direct films in the future, Josh, you need to learn what sound recorders does, what a DOP does. If you've not got a ganger, you need to know what whether the DOP is going to be the ganger as well. Sorry,
I'd
Ronnie.
rather do all the jobs before I'm like
But
telling
that's-
everybody
that's
to do
it.
this, do that. If I can't do it myself, then I don't think I should be telling them to do it.
Well, exactly. That's a good attitude to
I
have.
fucking loved the clapper thing. I was the clapper guy.
Yeah. But do you know what? You were so much better than me because I was
I
totally
agree
shit
with
at it. I am not a clapper person. I never have been. It's like, right, what scene is it? we're
Ronnie
doing?
did message me saying, when are you coming back?
Yeah, that's why I have runners on my film. So it's just not me. The clapper's never been me. I'm never accurate with it. I get all the timing wrong and everything like that. So, but no, listen, everybody had a part to play. And that's the important thing is we worked as a team.
Yeah.
And if you don't work as a team, that's when it becomes fragmented. Everybody's entitled to opinions, and the directors are there to veto that. That's what it is. It's like, I might have a great idea. James has a great idea. We go to Ronnie, the visuals gang, and Ronnie's like, no fucking way. Shut up.
idiots.
Yeah, didn't even bring that to the table, but that's accepted.
We've
then.
not got a crane.
We've not got a crane. We can't do that, right? So, but and do you know what? That's what makes a good production company, and that. Yeah, we're still very much in our infancy as a group, and I'm looking 2-3 years down the line. Where would it be?
Mm-hmm.
Where can it be? What it should be doing? And to me, that's what's in. If you're going to create create a filmmaking community, you do it with the community, not people from. And I'm not dissing any. All universities are good, but your people who go to Napier Film School, Edinburgh University Film School, come from a percentage of the population who have money.
Well, look at it this way,
I'm
Ali.
being very, very honest about it.
Look at what's come for our college.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, I'm blown away. I mean, that college, ever since I've met all of yous, been involved and went to the scheme thing, Gary's thing that he did there, and I look at that college and I just think, bloody hell, I wish every college would do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or involve this amount of the community that they've done. West Lothian College has got to be leading the way there.
Yeah,
Got to be. I mean, I don't know any other colleges that do this.
Yeah, we kind of. It takes a lot to get to where we are. I'm not going to lie. It took 6 years of different management, and I think it's the quality of the staff that's there. I think that gets forgotten. It's not about the leadership in the college; it's about the staff who's in the college.
I think. Well, yeah. I did a wee kind of video project for a staff member a few years ago, and I was going around interviewing staff members, and one of the themes that came back over and over again was community, like the community between the staff and the students. You know, so community's already been like instilled in us from the start. You know,
Yeah.
we're working together. If somebody's got a problem, we're like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
let's work on that. You know, so communities are like already something that's important to the college inside,
Yeah.
and then when we
And
start
it
taking
shows.
out-
It
yeah.
shows.
Yeah,
It
no,
fucking
I
shows.
Actually, I think I agree with that about the college because it's a lot different for school. I think like even I went to college when I was 15 and I done joinery first, and even my lecturer then, like they treat you a bit more like an adult. Like you can
Yeah.
talk to them, you can just like be your pal kind of, you know. But
yeah.
it's like you get along a lot better and they're really supportive, I would say.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I got into creative industries and it's got me here, and that's where I want to be. So I'll.
Yeah,
And you're a sound guy.
And do you know what?
Yeah.
There's just so many possibilities open up then. And I wasn't dissing. I'm just saying that you get a whole host of creatives who live from the middle to upper classes who have money anyway, who can afford to become artists. And you'll agree with me here, Ronnie. They have people who can sort of sustain their life until they become a relative success within creative industries. You don't have that from our level.
Nah.
And I don't claim to be a proletariat and all the rest of it. It's not about that. You are so disadvantaged to come from a place called Livingston because everybody, that's just Livingston. It's not even a new town anymore. It's a run-down town.
It's middle and
Yeah,
anywhere.
it's middle and everywhere. But if we create
Middle
that
Earth.
community and we create a filming community that makes films about where we come from, that's really important to the community. It's a creative outreach for people who might not see, who have never seen Ladywell, the Ferns, in a film before. There was that wee guy with the blue, I don't even know his name. Chrissy, that's his name. And he's asked to come in. So
Oh, somebody's at the door.
No worries, thank
thank
you.
you.
Oh,
No worries.
thanks for just coming in and saying that. Right, we've got 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and that means
Even though it says it's 1:45, because I was going to say anyway, it's
Yeah,
1:45, we need
we
to
need to-
wrap up. So, right, listen, parting comments. I'm going to play us out. I don't know, I'll do that in a minute. Right, for me, thank you very much, gentlemen. Josh, it's been amazing meeting you. We'll see you again. I know that. Ali, it's been phenomenal. Everything you've done, organising rooms and putting together this. Ronnie, I don't know how you do it, pal, but well done.
Yeah.
So, for me, thank you very much for everything that you have done. Thanks for being here and thanks for talking. Ali, your shot.
Well, go watch The Bitter Pill because it's a damn good film.
Ooh.
Oof.
Ronnie,
Thanks very much, guys, for helping. Like
you should plug your thing.
what my thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Which one?
All of
them.
them.
Photography.
All
Yeah.
of them. Your
Oh, yeah.
photography.
Go and learn photography, Ronnie.
Aye.
Saturdays, Howden Park Centre. Tuesdays, Kerstorp
Yeah.
in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
If he's coming along, this guy is top notch. He was trained by the best.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
No, that's very
Yeah.
kind. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And Josh.
Well, I want to thank you all for taking me from the college and putting me in the position that I'm in. I hope that in future years I'll still be here with you guys, and I would like to be making films still.
Good.
Maybe a sound guy, maybe not a sound guy.
Maybe an
you're
actor.
definitely a sound
Imagine
guy.
A
that.
sound guy, but I don't know if I'll be this sound guy.
Thanks, James.
No, thank you,
Thanks very
guys. So we'll get this out. Watch. Get on to Zero ID on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. No,
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's, I think
TikTok.
TikTok as well.
and you'll get the movie when it comes out. We're going to share it all over the place anyway. It's coming soon. Zero ID, no budget,
No bother.